Welcome to another deep dive with us. This time, we're taking a look on the world of prank calls.
Ooh, sneaky.
Yeah, and we're using the top 10 best prank call ideas list from the Top 10's website as our guide.
Sounds like fun.
So get ready for some laughs, maybe some cringe, and a little bit of insight into what makes these pranks tick. You with me?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
So, some people might think prank calls, really, isn't it a bit outdated? But the top 10's list and the comments from users show that these pranks are still alive and well.
Yeah, I think there's something timeless about a good prank call.
Yeah, it's that unexpected twist, that little bit of chaos that catches people off guard.
Exactly. And it often leads to genuine laughter, both for the prankster and the person being pranked. It's like a shared moment of absurdity.
Right, like take the classic "Is Mr. Wall there?" prank. I mean, come on, who hasn't heard of that one?
It's a true classic. And it's amazing how effective something so simple can be. Just that one phrase, "Is Mr. Wall there?" can completely throw someone off.
It's the wordplay, right? It catches you off guard, and before you know it, you're looking for a Mr. Wall who doesn't exist.
Exactly. And the top 10's comments are full of stories from people who've tried this prank, and they still find it hilarious.
Like a rite of passage for pranksters. You gotta try the Mr. Wall prank at least once in your life.
I totally agree. But let's move on to a prank that requires a bit more effort, the 31 Flavors Challenge.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic too. It's all about putting someone on the spot and seeing if they can handle the pressure.
Imagine getting a call out of the blue and being challenged to name 31 different ice cream flavors. Talk about pressure.
The unexpectedness of it is what makes it so funny, and the reactions you get can be priceless. Some people freeze up, some start making up flavors, and others just hang up in frustration.
One commenter talked about pranking their band teacher with this, and then a classmate called back and kept the bit going for like an hour.
No way, an hour?
Seriously. They actually named way more than 31 flavors. It was like they had an encyclopedia of ice cream knowledge in their head.
That's amazing. It's those unexpected turns that make prank calls so much fun. You never know where they're gonna lead.
Exactly. Speaking of unexpected turns, the "why did you hang up on me?" Pranks is a fascinating one because it starts with deception, but can actually lead to some really heartwarming interactions.
Yeah, this one's interesting because it plays on people's empathy and their desire to help. You call someone sounding all sad and ask why they hung up on you, even though they didn't.
It's kind of sneaky, but it often disarms people, and they respond with genuine concern.
Like one commenter mentioned calling a restaurant, and the guy who answered spent like 7 minutes reassuring her and telling her she was beautiful.
Wow, that's incredible. It's a reminder that even in the context of a prank, people can be incredibly kind and compassionate.
Absolutely. It shows that deep down we all crave connection, even with strangers.
Yeah, and that even a little bit of deception can sometimes lead to something positive. But let's move on to some pranks that really play with identity and create some hilarious scenarios.
Okay, things are about to get a little wilder.
Get ready for some serious laughs.
Let's start with the fake name callback prank. This one's all about layers of deception and misdirection.
You call someone, ask for a random fake name, and when they say wrong number, you leave a bizarre message.
Right. And then you call back with a disguised voice, pretend to be that fake person, and ask about the message. And like you're adding insult to injury, but in a hilarious way.
And the top 10's users have some amazing suggestions for those messages too, like ordering 20 pizzas with anchovies and pineapples, or asking if they've seen a body around.
Oh man, the body one is classic. The sheer absurdity of it is what makes it so funny.
It's like you're creating this alternate reality where these ridiculous things are totally normal.
Exactly. And the person on the other end is just left completely bewildered trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, get ready for this one. The random survey prank. This one is all about awkwardness and pushing social boundaries.
Oh, this is a good one. Imagine being bombarded with the most nonsensical questions imaginable. Like, what color is your refrigerator? Or, are you currently wearing a hat made of cheese?
It's those questions that make absolutely no sense in the context of a survey that make this prank so funny.
You're hitting them with this barrage of absurd inquiries, completely disrupting their expectations of what a survey should be.
And the Top 10's website doesn't just offer a list of questions, they actually give tips on how to keep the prank going and maximize the awkwardness.
Right. It's like a masterclass in comedic discomfort.
All right, brace yourselves because things are about to get really weird. We're talking about the exotic Mexican dancers prank. This one's not for the easily offended, but it's a true masterpiece of comedic escalation.
Oh, this one is legendary. Just the name alone is enough to make you laugh.
Imagine someone calling you out of the blue to confirm an order for like 10 exotic Mexican dancers for a bachelor party.
It's so specific and so outlandish, it's bound to catch anyone off guard.
And the prankster doesn't just make the request, they just keep pushing it. They insist that the order was placed, they offer to teach the person how to dance. It just gets more and more ridiculous.
It's that relentless commitment to the bit that makes it so funny. The person on the other end is just getting more and more flustered, and the prankster is just doubling down on the absurdity.
It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion, but in a hilarious way. All right, we've covered some real gems so far. Pranks that rely on wordplay, deception, and pure awkwardness.
Yeah, it's amazing how much variety there is in the world of prank calls.
But let's move on to a category that's near and dear to my heart. Food-focused fun. Because who doesn't love a good food-related prank, right?
Oh, I'm all about food pranks. They're always a recipe for laughter.
And first up, we have the classic pizza order prank. This one's all about creating a little bit of frustration and then reveling in the ensuing chaos.
It's like messing with a system that people rely on for a quick and easy meal.
You call a pizza place, pretend you placed an order, and then just keep pushing, even when they tell you they have no record of it. It's like a game of chicken with a side of pepperoni.
And the best part is, you never know how the person on the other end will react. Some might get flustered and try to help you track down the phantom order, while others might just get annoyed and hang up.
The comments on the Top 10's website are a testament to that unpredictability. Some people described getting yelled at by angry pizza place employees, while others got polite but dismissive responses.
It's a real gamble, but that's part of the fun. And while the pizza order prank focuses on delivery, the where do babies come from prank takes a more, shall we say, sensitive topic and uses it to elicit some unexpected reactions.
Yeah, I know it sounds a bit edgy, but it's not about being crude or offensive.
Right, it's more about using a seemingly innocent question to create a moment of pure awkwardness.
Like, imagine calling a random business and asking that question in a childlike voice. It's bound to catch people off guard.
One commenter described calling an older lady with a British accent and doing just that. And apparently, it was hilarious.
It's those unexpected pairings that make this prank so effective.
And sometimes it can lead to some really wholesome interactions, too. Another commenter mentioned calling a speedway and pretending to be a little girl, asking her dad that question. And the employee actually played along.
Aw, that's sweet. It just goes to show that even in the most awkward situations, people can surprise you with their kindness.
Absolutely. But let's wrap up this section with a prank that's just pure, unadulterated chaos. The "you are the weakest link" prank.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic. It's so simple, yet so effective.
It's all about randomness and unpredictability. You just call someone, say you are the weakest link, and hang up.
It's the abruptness and a lack of context that make it so funny.
You're not giving them any time to process or respond. You're just hitting them with this bizarre phrase and then disappearing.
One commenter said they pranked their friend with this, and she was genuinely upset the next day because she didn't want to be the weakest link.
It just goes to show how even the most seemingly harmless pranks can have unexpected consequences. But it also highlights the power of words and how a simple phrase delivered in the right context can really stick with someone.
It's a good reminder that humor can be subjective. What one person finds funny, another might find upsetting.
Right? It's all about being mindful of the potential impact of our actions, even when we're just trying to have a little fun.
So we've explored some of the lighter side of prank calls, but things are about to get a whole lot more interesting.
Buckle up, because we're diving into the world of pranks that push the boundaries of taste and humor.
Get ready for some wild scenarios, folks, because things are about to get real.
Get ready, because we're about to enter a whole new level of prank call absurdity.
Yeah, the gloves are coming off. These next few pranks definitely push the limits of taste and human.
They do. But hey, that's part of the fun, right?
Totally. All right, let's kick things off with the egg roll prank. This one's all about embracing a ridiculous persona and just going all out with the absurdity.
Oh, the egg roll prank. A true classic.
Right. Imagine someone calling you in like a super exaggerated Chinese accent and yelling, "You buy egg roll or we hunt you down." I mean, it's so over the top, you can't help but laugh.
It's the kind of prank that completely throws you off guard. You're just like, wait, what?
Exactly. And one of my commenters even claimed this prank was endorsed by Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Really?
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is totally made up, but it just adds another layer of ridiculousness to the whole thing.
That's amazing. It's like they're trying to give this prank some kind of weird scientific credibility.
All right, let's move on to a prank that targets a beloved fast food chain. The Krusty Krab prank.
Ah, yes, the Krusty Krab prank. This one's for all the SpongeBob fans out there.
It's the ultimate clash of reality and cartoon. You call up McDonald's and ask, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" Simple yet brilliant.
It's such a silly question, but the reactions you get could be priceless.
Oh yeah, some McDonald's employees get really mad and hang up immediately.
They're probably thinking, do I sound like a talking sponge to you?
Right. But then there are others who actually play along.
They'll answer the phone with a SpongeBob-esque, "Aye, aye, Captain."
Exactly. It's like they're suddenly transported to Bikini Bottom.
It's those unexpected moments of role-playing that make prank calls so unpredictable and fun.
Before we move on, let's give a quick shout out to some other notable pranks that deserve a spot in the Prank Call Hall of Fame. The Siri prank, the Super Duper Maxi Pads prank, the refrigerator running prank, and the Roar Like a Mountain Lion prank.
Wow, that's a lot of pranks.
It just goes to show you the creativity and diversity of the prank call world.
For sure. People are coming up with new and hilarious prank call ideas all the time. Speaking of new ideas, let's move on to the contenders section of the list. These are pranks that are gaining popularity and might just become future classics.
Sounds good. Let's start with the One Direction tickets prank.
Ooh, this one plays on the excitement and disappointment surrounding celebrity fandom.
It's a clever way to mess with people's emotions. You call someone, pretend to be from Radio Disney, and tell them they've won tickets to see One Direction.
Wow, talk about getting someone's hopes up.
Right. But there's a catch. They have to answer a quick survey first, and then just as they're getting excited, you hang up.
The ultimate prank call tease. I love it.
One commenter shared their experience calling a guy in Compton, California. Instead of freaking out about One Direction, the guy was like, "Nah, I'm more of a punk rock fan. You got any My Chemical Romance ticket?"
That's awesome. It's those unexpected responses that make prank calls so much fun.
Totally. All right, get ready for this one. It's called the Stuck in the Toilet prank.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going.
You call up a place, like McDonald's, and in a panicked voice, tell them you're stuck in their toilet.
And then what?
And then you add a ridiculous detail, like yelling, "Hurry, my cheeseburger's getting cold."
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I know, right? It's so absurd.
It's the kind of prank that makes you wonder, would anyone actually fall for that?
Well, one commenter said they tried this prank, and the McDonald's employee was like, "I'll be right there."
No way. Did they actually go and help?
The commenter hung up before they could find out, but it just goes to show you people can be surprisingly gullible.
Especially when someone sounds genuinely distressed. It's like our instinct to help kicks in, even if the situation is totally ridiculous.
Now, let's not forget about the newcomers, the pranks that are just starting to gain traction in the world of prank calls.
Yeah, the prank call world is constantly evolving. There are always new and creative ideas popping up.
One that caught my eye is called the I Hid the Body, Now What?
Ooh, that sounds intense.
Right. Just the name alone is enough to make you wonder what the prank is all about.
It definitely has a darker, more mysterious vibe than some of the other pranks we've talked about.
We don't know exactly how this prank is executed, but it definitely seems like it's not for the faint of heart.
It's a reminder that humor can be found in the most unexpected places, even in the dark and unsettling.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the classics to the contenders. We've explored the wide world of prank calls and what makes them so enduringly popular.
It's been a wild ride.
But as we wrap up this part, I think it's important to step back and ask ourselves a bigger question. What does the popularity of prank calls say about us as a society?
That's a great question. Why are we so drawn to these pranks, even when they're sometimes cringeworthy or push the boundaries of good taste?
Yeah, what is it about these often absurd, sometimes mean-spirited calls that we find so entertaining? What does it say about our need for connection, our desire for chaos, our fascination with the unexpected? All right, so we've spent this whole deep dive exploring this crazy world of prank calls, from the classics to the downright bizarre.
Yeah, we've laughed, we've cringed, we've been amazed by the creativity of these pranksters.
But now let's get serious for a minute. What does it all mean? What is it about these pranks that keeps us coming back for more?
That's the big question, isn't it? Why are we so drawn to this kind of humor, even when it's sometimes a little mean-spirited or pushes the boundaries of good taste?
Right. What is it about that moment of disruption, that little bit of chaos that we find so appealing?
Well, I think, part of it might be that we crave a break from the mundane, from the predictability of everyday life.
Yeah, it's like we're tapping into that inner rebel, that part of us that wants to shake things up a bit.
Exactly. Prank calls are like a safe, low-stakes way to rebel against social norms.
And of course, there's the humor factor. At the end of the day, prank calls are meant to be funny.
Absolutely. Whether it's through wordplay, absurd situations, or just those unexpected reactions, there's something inherently funny about catching someone off guard.
It's that shared moment of absurdity, that connection between the prankster and the person being pranked.
Yeah, it's like even if the person on the other end is annoyed, there's still a sense of, we're in this together because we've both stepped outside the boundaries of a normal phone call.
It's like a little social experiment, right? Testing the limits of what's acceptable, what's funny, and how people react when their expectations are totally shattered.
Exactly. And those reactions can tell us a lot about human nature.
Like, we've seen examples of people getting angry, frustrated, even scared. But I've also seen people playing along, being kind, or even finding the humor in the situation.
It just goes to show that people are complex and unpredictable. You never know how someone's going to react.
So maybe prank calls are more than just about laughs. Maybe they're a way for us to connect with each other, to explore those boundaries of social norms.
And to find humor in the most unexpected places.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in a world that can feel really serious and predictable, there's always room for a little silliness, for a little bit of laughter. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, tell us about your experiences with prank calls. Have you ever made one? Have you ever been on the receiving end? What are your favorite prank call stories?
What do you think these pranks say about our need for connection and laughter?
Share your thoughts and experiences. We'd love to hear them.
And as you go about your day, remember that even in the most ordinary moments, there's always the potential for a little unexpected humor.
Maybe that next time your phone rings, it'll be a chance to embrace the absurdity, connect with a stranger, and create a memory that'll make you smile.
Keep those phones close, your sense of humor even closer, and remember, in the world of prank calls, anything is possible. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive 2020A.